Hi, learner. Welcome to AutomationEdge Academy. In this video, we'll be learning about workflow versioning in AutomationEdge. Have you ever made a change to a workflow and then wished you could go back? Maybe you updated a step, tested it, and realized the old version actually worked better. Or perhaps a colleague made a change and now you need to trace back exactly what was modified and when. This is exactly the kind of challenge that workflow versioning in AutomationEdge is designed to solve. And in this video, we're going to walk through everything you need to know, step by step in plain language, so you can confidently manage your workflow versions like a pro. By the end of this session, you'll know how to maintain and view workflow versions, understand version history details, and restore a previous version as your current working workflow, all from within the AutomationEdge UI. Or AEUI for short. Every time you update and publish a workflow, AutomationEdge doesn't just overwrite the old one. Instead, it keeps a record of past versions, so you always have a safety net. At any given time, you have one active or current version of your workflow. That's the one AutomationEdge is actually using. The older ones are called archived versions. They're not in use, but they're safely stored and accessible whenever you need them. Now, how many versions does AutomationEdge keep? That's actually configurable, and here's where it gets interesting. AutomationEdge Server Administrator can set the number of archived versions using a property called AE.Workflow.files.mmax.archival.copies in the AE.properties file, as you can see on the screen. If the value for property is not set, then it takes 2 archived plus 1 active, that is total 3 versions. We can set positive value. For example, if we set 5, then it will take 5 archived plus 1 active, that is total 6 version. If we give -1, then all the versions will be kept. A word of caution: keeping too many versions will consume significant disk storage. In most production environments, keeping more than 5 copies is rarely necessary. Great! Now that you understand what versioning is and how it works behind the scenes, let's jump into AutomationEdge and see it in action. Let's start by navigating to the Workflow list. In the left-hand menu, click on Workflows. You'll see a list of all workflows available in your environment. Now, let's learn how to view the version history of any workflow. In the Workflow list, in the Actions column, you'll see a small icon next to each workflow. Click that icon to open the version history page for that workflow. This is where you get a complete picture of all the available versions, who updated them, when, and what tag they carry. Notice that the most recently updated version has a current version label. That's your active workflow, the one running in your automation processes right now. Now, how are versions actually created? Good question. It is created every time you update a workflow. Workflow can be updated 1 from Process Studio, Publish, Update, or 2 by updating a workflow through AEUI. You can see the Update option in AEUI. In the Workflow tab, Update. Once clicked, you'll see an Update Workflow dialog. Select Workflow. This is a mandatory field. Choose the workflow you want to update from the dropdown. Version tag. This is an optional, but highly recommended field. This tag makes it easy to find and restore specific versions later without having to guess which version number was which. Select Workflow File, Zip. Upload the zip file of your workflow. This is also mandatory. AutomationEdge stores and versions this file automatically. AutomationEdge automatically increments the version number. The newly published version immediately becomes the current version of your workflow. In the Actions column of the version history page, you have several options for each archived version. Note that the Actions column options are unavailable for the current version of the workflow. The last action is to export. This allows us to download the version as a zip, which can be used as backup or for sharing or deploying to another environment. Next action, delete. We'll permanently remove that version. View Details opens a read-only view of what this version contains. The last action is to restore a previous version. Imagine you've discovered a critical issue in the latest workflow version. You need to quickly roll back to a version that you know worked. To deactivate it, find the workflow in your list and toggle its status to inactive. Find the version you want to restore, let's say version 1, and click the Restore icon. A confirmation message will appear asking you to confirm the restoration. Click the Restore button in the confirmation dialog. And just like that, version 1 is now your current active workflow version. This is really important, so pay close attention. When you restore version 1 as the current version, all versions created after version 1 are automatically and permanently deleted. Make absolutely sure you want to restore that specific version before confirming, because there's no undo once those later versions are deleted. If you want to keep a backup of the previous version created after version 1, except for the current version, you can simply select the Export option available under the Action column, which is Export. If you want to take a backup of the current version, you can directly export the workflow. Fantastic work! Here's a quick recap. Workflow versioning automatically tracks every update you publish. You can configure how many versions are retained via AE.Properties. The version history page gives you a full audit trail, and you can restore any archived version as current. Just remember, all versions created after it will be permanently deleted. And that's a wrap on workflow versioning in AutomationEdge. Versioning is one of those features you might not think about every day, but the day you need it, you'll be incredibly glad it's there. And if you have questions, check out the AutomationEdge documentation, or reach out to your system administrator. For any queries, visit the AutomationEdge community. Thanks for watching, and happy automating!